Hi, this is Stacia, and I'm going to share my round three game from the Holiday Open, the Cleveland Holiday Open, played in December of 2019. Just to recap real quick, my first game I lost by misplaying the opening and never finding any tricks to regain material. Um, my second game, I actually got a bye, so this is Saturday morning. But even though I received a full point, I played against a much higher rated opponent. Played pretty well, had a solid advantage the entire game, but then got in time pressure and blundered. So that was painful. And now this is round three, and so this is Saturday night, and I played a younger opponent named Devon. Probably about, I want to say like 15 or 16 years old, maybe a little older, maybe like 18. But okay, I got the white pieces this game, and I opened with e4. So let's put that on the board. Yeah, so e4, and he played c5. So the Sicilian defense, stopping white from playing d4. So what did I play? d4. Smith-Morra gambit, allowing black to take. So he took, and now I won't take back with the queen. I think this is a bad variation, allowing knight c6 with tempo. So instead of that, I played the main move c3. So this is the Smith-Morra gambit saying, okay, you can go up a pawn, but you're going to help me develop my knight. And that actually didn't happen this game. I think probably the best way to decline the gambit is to play knight f6 and transpose into a c3 Sicilian. I think that's the way you do it. Let me check real quick. Yeah, knight f6, and then generally white plays e5. Yeah, and this transposes into a c3 Sicilian. Knight f3, notice he can't take because of the pin, and okay. But my opponent found a different way to decline this gambit. He played the move e5. Yeah, and this is a move. It's called the center formation. And I honestly, I've honestly had this position in a training game where I was just better the whole game and won pretty comfortably. So I don't have a lot of respect for this opening, but actually it is playable, and it can actually be pretty good for black at times. So the reason I think it's kind of crazy is because, this d pawn is really weak, and after I take like I did in the game, black takes back, and he has two isolated pawns, and I feel like I can play against this pretty comfortably. I think what I failed to understand is that, sometimes black can get d5 in, and not to mention this pawn is a pass pawn. So there's probably more play than I've been giving it credit for. But let's go ahead and look at the game. Okay, knight f3 attacking the pawn, bishop defending it. I'm going to take off the computer. Okay, now I need to fix this. Hang on a second. There we go. Looks pretty good. Okay, so he's defending his pawn. I can still take it. I mean, I could play knight takes, bishop takes, queen takes. There's still knight c6 though. So that's probably why I didn't do that. So instead, bishop c4. Yeah, and I thought this is the Italian diagonal for the bishop. And I feel like this is a little more annoying than usual because there's no like e6 to block the bishop. And I might be threatening stuff already. Knight check, or bishop check, king takes. I have discoveries with the knight. Check. The queen's coming out. I don't think it's quite working, but those ideas are in the air. My opponent played knight f6. And I played the move that's begging to be played, the move e5. So e5 is a very testy move. In fact, I only see one way out of this. Like, okay, if the knight comes here, I take it. If the knight comes here, what do I do? The knight goes there. I mean, maybe I can go, oh, how about bishop d5? Yeah, I knew there was something bad about this. And now I'm threatening, well, I guess I'm not threatening this yet. But the nice thing is that I am attacking the knight. And if he goes f5, maybe I can even take. No, maybe not. If I take, he'll retreat with the knight. So probably best is castles. But I like white here. Yeah, in fact, computer's giving d6 now. For him, d6. But I think e6 is interesting too for white. I mean, notice he's not castling. And maybe there's going to be, if he moves this pawn, which it's saying d6, I can play queen e4 check there. And if bishop here, yeah, I'm wondering about queen c4. I'm on this a couple times now still. If the knight comes out now, I can take it. Yeah, this is an interesting position. I think white's doing pretty good. So after e5, he didn't play here, and if he goes here, I think I do have tricks. Like, I probably can take on f7 now. Come on, computer. So let's have a look at that. Check. He should probably take it. But now I have knight g5 check, attacking the king, but also discovery on the knight, which is currently undefended. So he would have to drop back or something, and I take here. This is going to be really good. Yeah, d5, unleashing the bishop would be next. But I might even have, I was thinking about queen h5 check, but g6. So maybe just here is good. Kind of like maintaining an eye on that. So, okay, he didn't play that either. He played the move d5. So I played e5, he played d5. And he spent quite a bit of time on that move. And here I have an interesting decision. So I'd actually like you to pause your video. What move would you play here? What do you think is best and why? So in the game, I thought I had a pretty cool idea, but it turns out it's not best. I played the move bishop b3 with the idea of maintaining pressure on the d-pawn and f7 and just saying, hey, my position's better. I'm going to play bishop b3. Computer does not agree that my position is better, which is pretty interesting to me. Another move suggested to me by a stronger player was bishop e5 check, trying to keep the initiative. I think this is an option, but it doesn't quite work out the way we would hope. Like maybe he could just play knight here now. Knight f to d7. And the other knight will come to the c6 square. I suppose I could take here. Well, computer actually says no, I can't. Why? Oh, queen b6. Yikes. That's a double attack on the bishop and the knight. So, yeah, I do have bishop e3, but does that even work? I guess so. Because now if he takes here, hoping to take the bishop, then I can take here. Wait. I actually can throw this in, huh? And after takes, now I take. Okay. So we have that little intermezzo with check. Okay. Let's go back. Yeah, so the computer actually likes this move the best. Bishop d3. This is really interesting. I think the point is that we're blockading the pawn and we're putting some pressure on h7. So once he castles, we might have some pressure here. And this move, though, the thing about it is that we're blocking the attack on this pawn. So that's why I didn't play this during the game. Instead, I went with this, bishop b3. And now the computer actually likes black after knight e4. So I didn't see this move, but it's an interesting one. I mean, even if I challenge this knight, it doesn't really work because if I take, he's going to take this way. And then those pawns actually are strong and are a nuisance. So I would have to castle or something here. All right, but yeah, and in the game he played this move, knight e4. So I like this way of handling it by my opponent. I thought e5 was almost crushing, but d5 is the only response. And after I went bishop e3, he did jump his knight into e4, which I think is good. So now I castle. And I thought he would either castle or play bishop g4 here. He did play bishop g4. Another good move is knight c6. That's like the most natural move in the world, isn't it? Get your knight out, put it on a good square, defend this pawn again. So, but he did do this. So I think here he's stopping me from winning the pawn now because he's pending the knight. And if I go h3, I think he can just drop back. That's probably fine. And the bishop will be really good here if it appears on the g6 square. All right, so here I thought he'd play this, and I had planned queen d3. So unpinning. Also getting closer to connecting my back rank. And maintaining pressure on the pawn, also blockading it. So I like this move. And I guess the only problem is he does have knight c6 now. So this might be an issue. Yeah, and I didn't respect this position for black during the game. I must admit. I did not. Because, black has a bit of an initiative here. Black has some nice center control with these pawns, actually. And especially the knight on e4. And on top of that, black is pretty much better developed. I have this going on. So, kind of interesting. But let's continue. He castled instead of knight c6, and I decided to take the pawn. So he did not take back. He instead played queen b6. Yeah, and I don't think I love queen b6, but let's see what the computer says about it. Computer likes knight c6. Yeah, I think this is better too. Queen b6 surprised me during the game. I didn't see it, so that's kind of unnerving. I should at least see this idea. So the knight is actually attacked twice now. So I need to do something about that. But I feel like I have the most natural move in the world, bishop e3. So countering. Although, one interesting point here, let's see. I really want to play f3. But if I had played f3, he would have took my knight. So I had to play this first. Now if I play f3, My knight's actually pinned, I'm pretty sure, because if I move the knight, he takes my bishop. With check. Yeah, and I'm wondering about stuff like this. Okay. Yeah, and here, okay. So he probably needs to play knight c6 now, applying more pressure to the knight. I think that's probably correct. But instead, my opponent decided to play knight g5. And I have a phrase for this kind of move. I would call it too fancy. Okay, it's too fancy. So I think his idea is that if I take the knight, I'm undefending my knight and he can take here. Okay, so that makes sense. He's also trying to avoid my little f3 idea, which I'm not sure would work anyway. Like, let's say he played knight c6. I don't think I can play f3. Like, if I play f3, he could take here for starters. I mean, isn't that just a piece? What do I do about that? If I take back, he takes a check. That's annoying. I don't have time to take anything. And yeah, black's probably winning now. So if I go like, let's say I take the knight. He can probably go, let's see. Does knight e2 check a move? He is defending the knight. And I pretty much have to move my king. Wow, and now I lose another piece. So, yeah. So the bishop becomes pinned. So when I play f3, I undefend my bishop on e3. So he should have played knight c6, and I think I can't play f3. But instead, he played the move knight here. Knight to g5. And I looked at this move, and I thought, okay, he clearly wants me to take this way and then take my knight, and then he's on here too. So I don't think that's a good idea. So I started looking at other moves, and I found the move knight c3, which the computer says is the strongest move, and says white's much better after this move. Actually, maybe winning +2, because now I'm threatening knight a4. I'm threatening knight takes d5 with tempo on the queen, and this knight is hanging, so this threat could be really annoying. So computer likes queen g6 now. Queen g6. That seems really wrong, doesn't it? Can't I just take that? So queen g6, I would take it, I think, because now the knight's still hanging. Oh, this is still hanging too. After h takes, I could go... Yeah, I guess this is okay for him. I could take here, though. This looks annoying. Yeah, so white's still a little bit better even in this line, but I didn't go like this. So I'm going to show you what actually happened in the game. Yeah, after knight c3, he thought a while, and he played the move, yeah, bishop e6. So, I think this is just a horrible move because it doesn't address my threat. My threat is knight to a4. And after here, I played it. So knight a4, forking the queen and the bishop. And even if he maintains defense of that bishop, I can take that, and I'm going to have discoveries on his queen, and his knight's hanging. So here, I think he's in real trouble. He's just busted. Computer's giving queen d8 as the main move. He played queen b4. And I played this real simple. Simply took the bishop, and he played here. Okay, so not taking back, because if he takes, I have discoveries now. Yeah, probably just here. Knight takes e6. I'm on the rook. I'm on the queen. So that looks promising. So he would have to play like, well, it's saying knight takes e6, allowing bishop takes queen. So yeah, I mean, he would have to just move his queen, I think. Like queen e7. Now I take here. This is completely lost. So he didn't take. He instead played knight e4, but now I can just simplify, right? I took the bishop. He took back. I took the pawn. Now I'll just show you the finish. Rook here. Yeah, and I like this move. So queen takes d5, I mean, with some interesting threats. He played knight there. Okay, now if I try to move my knight away and say check, he'll take my queen. So I saw that and played queen d8 check. King there. Yeah, and I really like this move. So I played knight f4 check. That's a discovery on the king. My queen is doing a really nice job controlling all the squares. And now my knight's controlling some squares too. And mainly I wanted to cover the g6 square. So after this, I don't think he has anything he can really do aside give up the queen. Yeah, he could play this. That's the best move. So my opponent resigned. So I was happy to get a win. Although if we have a look at this game and kind of analyze what happened, I do have stuff to learn from it still. I'm going to turn the computer off. Actually, I'll turn this on now. And I have to readjust, of course. Okay. So one thing I didn't know is that this move actually is better than I thought. Black does get an initiative in this line, and had my opponent played knight c6 sooner, I think I might have been under more pressure. Also this moment, hard to see that bishop d3 is the best move. Yeah, this was kind of disconcerting here. Again, knight c6 is really strong. So I was under a lot of pressure here. But yeah, then my opponent just made a sudden blunder. So knight to g5 was just too fancy. Just too fancy. Yeah, knight c3 is best, and I mean it's hard to fault him here. The best move is queen g6, but that's also not good, as we saw. So yeah, knight a4. So I'm glad I played this correctly. I will give myself credit for that. When he did blunder, I played correctly, playing knight a4, and after this move, I also think that I executed the win, or converted as they say, pretty nicely here, because I didn't really take the pressure off, even though I was up material. And it calls this a missed wind. So what's better in this position? Let's see. Maybe just take the knight. That's an option. There's also other discoveries. This seems pretty straightforward, doesn't it? Yeah. Now it's giving mate an 8. His knight is pinned also. Yeah, it's just not good. I liked my way, honestly. I like knight f5 better because it forces queen takes b3. Otherwise he's getting mated. You know what I mean? So yeah, where does the king go? He has nowhere to go at all. So computer gives queen takes b3, queen c4, and knight d5 is the best moves. Yeah, knight d5 would allow mate, doesn't it? Yeah, bishop takes d5 checkmate. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the game. This was a really interesting one to me. It's funny to go over it now because I remember during the game, I felt like there was so much going on over the board, like especially in moments like here. I felt no, not here. The other knight e4 earlier. Let's see. Yeah, like right here, I remember seeing a lot of different lines and was spending quite a bit of time. So it's funny when you go over a game after the tournament and it's kind of like you fly through it. And in fact, this game was only it was only what 20 moves long, a 20 move game. So it's interesting to me that it's really that short of a game when it felt like a marathon during it. But thanks for watching if you did, and I will be back with round 4 and round 5 of the Holiday Open. Thanks for watching.